Dear friends, today we are going to the next lecture after remote sensing. This is on geophysical methods. I request you as usual to answer the questions after listening to the lecture and also going through the notes and preserve them after answering. The key will be released after 3 days. And you are free to refer other books which you have got or even Google, which is a very good resource. Then we will be conducting examinations every Saturday and Sunday from July onwards. Some nominal payment will be there for internet. Now let us go ahead for the lesson. Every material, whether it is living thing or non-living means either stones, rocks, or walls, any other thing, earth material, it reacts. Reacts to what? Whenever some pressure is applied on rocks, it gets compressed, or if you pull it, it is called as tensile force. The forces that can act on that can modify it or deform it. This is due to the forces that act on the rock. While drilling, you are using compressive force or sometimes the shear force and different forces. The reaction of the rock is different towards different forces. In the same way, we have got different energies. The word geophysics itself indicates geo is earth. The physics means you have got lot of physical forces, invisible, electrical, magnetic, gravity, seismic, you can call them energies. Whenever these particular energies are made to pass through the items like earth or rock, the behavior will be different for different areas. The entire subject of the reaction of the rocks or the ground, whatever you are testing, is different at different places. Like, to give you an idea, the electricity, the resistance may be less in a place where there is water or some conductive fluid, or at the same time if there is some compact granite or some other dike, the conductivity may be low. It means the resistance is high. Please remember, the resistance and conductance are opposite things. Conductance means the material that allows electricity to pass through it, and resistance means the material which resists movement of electricity through it. Now, utilization of electrical energy or magnetic or gravity or seismic is the subject of geophysics. Now, it is not just simply only one method will be used for an area. You can use it in combination also. Before going ahead, we can discuss three important points which are very important even in your examination point of view. What is a base value? Some people, most of them ask that, sir, is there gold in our area? Yeah, they don't know the subject, but they ask, yes, gold is there in your area, or maybe in Bihar, or maybe in Guntur, or maybe in Himalayas, but to what extent? In Kolar or Hatti, you may have gold of maybe 1 gram or 0.5 grams per ton of material, whereas in other areas it may be 0.001 gram. So this 0.001 gram more or less will be same throughout all the areas where there is no gold, where there is no commercially exploitable gold. Now, if you take a magnet and go to your village, if there is no iron ore, then also the magnet attracts a few particles of iron. Okay, it can be some metallic article, just you can check up. Most of the times, even in sand, you will find some magnetite in the river bed or maybe in the sea. That does not mean you have commercial value. That is the base value. The base value means the basic minimum value of a particular mineral or an element that exists more or less. This is the first important point. Secondly, anomaly. What do you mean by anomalous value? Anomalous value means the value which is much higher than the base value. Now, for example, if while doing a magnetic test in an area where there is no magnetite or any iron ore, let us say the result shows some 10. Don't worry what are the units and other things. I am telling you just 10. Okay. If you go to a place where there is magnetite or some hematite or some other iron bearing area, that time the result may be instead of 10 it may be 40. In an area in and around it can be 40, 41, 38, 39, 44, 48 and different things. These values are higher than 10 but more or less rotating around 40. That 40 or 39 or 38 whatever it is known as anomalous value. So the anomalous value is higher than the base value, but it can be sometimes lower. Don't worry about it. It is the subject of people studying geophysics. The anomalous value is generally higher than the base value, which gives a clue of the target what you are searching. Now I will explain you a little more. You are searching for water. Okay, you are searching for water. You are using some resistivity method. The base value of an area where there is no water, let us say the resistance is some 200 ohms. The resistance is 200 ohms or 210 ohms or 240 ohms or 193 ohms, something like that. It may not be correct exactly, but just for your example I am giving you. Resistance is given in ohms. Okay, please remember that. If there is water, the resistance goes down because water will allow the electricity to pass through it. That area, instead of 200, it may be 40 or 60 or 80 or maybe something like that. But the areas where the water is there in and around with these values of 60, 80 or 70 and other things, these are known as the anomalous values. Okay, please remember anomalous values are more or less near 40, 50, 30 in case. It is an example I am giving you that revolves more or less in and around that value only. Now another important term, what is outlier? Say for example in your college if you are studying or in your mine if you are working, all the people are maybe 5 feet 7 inches, 5 feet 4, 8 inches, maybe around 5 feet 5 inches to up to 5 feet 8 inches. Suddenly you find a fellow with 7 feet. He is the outlier. Or you will find a dwarf of maybe only 4 feet. He is an outlier. It means the severe deviation from anomalous value is known as the outlier. Now coming to the context of minerals, let us say in some area the base value is maybe let us say 40, anomalous value is 80. So instead of 80, if it is 85 you are happy, 90 you are happy, 75 you are happy, but suddenly it goes to 210. What you will do? Will you believe that value? Okay, due to some reason it would have come. You can do the probe and inquiry why it came to 110. You can find it later, but as far as the value is concerned, any abnormally deviation is known as outlier. So we have learned 3 terms. One is base value, second is anomalous value, third is the outlier, and then we have understood that geophysics is the subject which studies the response of the target areas whenever they are subjected to certain energies of electricity, magnetism, or what is the gravitational value, all these things. Okay, now let us go ahead. But I request you, these 3 terms are very important, and in the examination we are going to conduct online from July. We will be giving certain numerical problems also on this basis. Please remember, if you want, you can write down in your notebook. First, let us go for a seismic survey. Seismic survey, this is one more area where you are likely to get 1 or 2 bits essentially. Many people have got, why in fact even me, a lot of confusion before I could study this P waves, S waves, secondary waves, primary waves, body waves, low waves, relic waves, all this lot of confusion. Now I am giving you a very simple way of remembering which you cannot forget through your lifetime. Please pay attention. A seismic wave is the wave which is generated whenever you make some sound. Sound means not talking like me on the earth, okay? I made some sound on the table. So that the sound waves have traveled through the air which reached my ear and also would have traveled through the microphone and you also would have listened to it. Now these waves which are created due to the sound are known as the seismic waves. So the point number 1 is seismic waves are the waves generated due to the sound or even earthquake. Please remember, earthquake also it creates a lot of sounds inside the earth which you may not listen. So these two things are the reason for the seismic waves. Okay, clear? Right. The first primary categorization of the seismic waves is body waves and surface waves. Please do not forget this. Do not get confused between surface waves and secondary waves. Surface waves and secondary waves are totally different. I am repeating once again, surface waves and secondary waves are totally different. So, please do not bring that secondary waves into your mind now. There are only 2 divisions. One is body wave, second is surface waves. The body waves, it travels throughout the body. It can travel through air or air gaps, inside the earth. It can travel to the depth. It can travel through water. It can travel through any type of material. But only difference is it travels with different speeds. That is based on which you are going to find what type of material may be there. So, the body waves, you can easily remember throughout the body it travels including air, water, inside the earth, okay? And rocks, everything, gaps, moisture, everywhere. The surface waves, they travel only on surface of the earth. Okay, please remember this. They travel only on the surface of the earth and they cannot penetrate in the body. They go like ripples of water. You know ripples? When you throw a stone in the water, it comes as circle, it goes, they are known as ripples. The surface waves travel as a ripple, whereas the body waves, they travel in the body. So, you remember body surface, your body is there, this is body, surface of it is surface. Is it clear? Now, you forget the surface waves. Now come to the body waves. The body waves are now classified as P waves, which are primary waves, and S waves means secondary waves. Now I think you should not have any confusion. It is the body waves which are 2 types. One is P waves are the primary waves and S waves which are secondary waves. And these S waves and body waves are not surface waves. They are secondary waves. They are also body waves. P waves are also body waves, but the S wave means secondary. Now there are some properties I have given here, which you are supposed to read it because the time of video goes high, you will be confused. P waves and S waves are body waves and all this I have given. I request you to go through it. And what are the important points I can talk to you on this? Yes. S waves are slower than P waves. Means in the body waves, I told you, primary waves and secondary waves, the S waves are slow waves. You can just remember like that. S is for slow. P is for fast, not PAST, FAST, okay? So S waves are slower than P waves, which are faster. And S waves can move through solids only. Surface also should be solid. Let us say S wave is moving, not secondary wave, gentlemen. It is not, sorry, it is not surface wave. It is the secondary wave. Secondary wave, which is a category of body wave. In body wave, P wave can move everywhere, whereas secondary wave can not move in liquids. It cannot move in liquids. Only the primary wave can move in the liquids. Now, some properties. Here again, I have requested you from this slide, don't get confused between surface waves. Secondary waves are totally different between surface waves. Now, these secondary waves, they move the particles up and down, the earth particles. It may not be visible to you, but sometimes whenever the blasting is done in mines, sometimes near your foot or all this, you will find the vibration. The vibration is due to the compressional waves. Now, these are, now let us come to second surface waves. Gentlemen, the surface waves have low frequency than body waves. You forget now body waves. Our body waves has got two categories. One is P waves, primary waves, S is secondary waves. Now the other one is surface waves, which travels on the surface of the body. Now, the surface waves, they are the most dangerous waves and they are the responsible for maximum damage. Now, the surface waves are categorized as love waves and relic waves. Don't feel happy you call them love waves. Like the waves, love is also dangerous. Be careful. I don't criticize, but most of the times they are like love waves only. Love is also like love waves. But it is nothing to take with your love or any other thing, affection. The name of the person who invented the waves is love. It is not actually love, it is low. And the second man is relic. This has got surface waves. There are two categories, that is love waves and relic waves. Love waves are fast, like love is fast. You can fall into love very fast. You remember like that. Like there, I told you secondary waves are slow. Here love waves are fast and relic waves are slow compared to love waves. The relic waves, they shake the ground, and that is the main reason for your earthquake cracks, relic waves, and your buildings fell down. These love waves move the ground from side to side, whereas relic waves, they give a rolling motion, R for rolling, you remember like that. Love, side by side love, when you love, you see most of the people sitting side by side very close. So, the love waves you can call, they move side by side, whereas relic waves roll, give a rolling movement and shaking movement, and because of these waves, lot of damage is done. Anyway, there are seismic reflection and seismic refraction studies also, which is out of context for our particular syllabus. Already it is around 18 minutes of lecture. You may be bored. In this geophysical methods, one thing I can tell you, gravity method, the gravity from place to place changes. Now, I am again going back to the waves. I forgot to tell you. Whenever there is a target area you want to search, you know the wave behavior. In case there is iron ore, how the wave will behave. If there is water, how the wave will behave. If there is some conductive material, how the wave will behave. If there is a fault, how wave will behave. What does it mean by behavior? In this, you will create a wave in the earth artificially in seismic method and record the return of the wave through the sensor. You will find to know the velocity, the time it has taken to come to the instrument and other things after traveling in the earth. So from that you will be assessing the data. In gravity method, please remember, the gravity changes from place to place. May not be changing very badly like moon and earth. Not that you will float in some area and very stubborn in another area. But gravity changes are minor, but it gives an excellent clue of the material what you are doing. Whenever the density of the rocks is more, the gravity is more. When the density is less, the gravity values are less. In the same manner, when you go below mean sea level, the gravity values are positive, means they increase. Whenever you go above the mean sea level like hills and other things, the gravity values decline, means they are negative. While doing these gravity corrections, instruments are very sensitive. You have to measure very small deviations also in gal or milligal. In notes all these things I have given. Whenever you do all these geophysical methods, there are a lot of corrections like latitude correction, drift correction, free air correction. You don't worry what are the corrections. I may give you a question. From the following corrections, which correction is what? Free air correction in one column, free air correction, refractive correction, or magnetic flux correction. On the other side, you will have gravity method or this method, that method. You will have to match the following. Something like that we will be giving an exam. Not that how you will do gravity and how you will do seismic, all that will not be given. The Bowger correction, you should remember that word. You need not know how to do Bowger correction and all that. That is one of the important corrections done for the altitude variations and terrain corrections. Then whenever there is one more correction known as tidal correction, generally people ask for that. The tidal correction is pertaining to gravity geophysical method. The tidal correction takes place, and tidal correction you are required to do it because the error arises depending on where the sun, moon and earth are, where rather earth is there only, where the sun and moon are relative to earth on the time of doing the test. So there will be some tidal corrections. There are different methods which your geophysics friends will be more bothered about it. So for you, knowing these names is sufficient. Now in magnetic, I told you the ferrous materials can be easily detected from magnetic methods. Now acid igneous rocks have less susceptibility to magnetism. How do you remember? Acid igneous rocks are the rocks which have got higher amount of silica, and the rocks with low amount of silica, that is SiO2, they are known as basic igneous rocks, and basalts and other things, they fall into that group. Generally, the acid igneous rocks are lighter in color, and the basic igneous rocks like basalts and other things are darker in color. This you should remember. And acid igneous rocks are less susceptible to magnetism, and basic igneous rocks are more susceptible to magnetism. These are all the areas where you will get some questions. Don't blame me. I am already telling you, in this one slide you may get around 6 questions. Be prepared. But directly I will not give you what is noise, what is this, that. वो घुमा फिरा के क्वेश्चन आएगा. It will be twisted and given. Now, ppm meters are given mainly used for this. What is ppm meter? I have given in notes. That is proton pressure magnetometers. And liquid hydrogen is used in this. Like you see, which is the material used in the instrument, liquid hydrogen. You can use alkali vapor, you can use flux gate magnetometer. Igneous rocks have more susceptibility or less susceptibility. Which type of minerals can be detected from this method? What type of minerals have good magnetic response? What do you mean by ppm, proton pressure magnetometer, personal pressure magnetometer, particle? So I am trying to tell you, although I am taking a minute time more, this is the way the questions are asked. So I request you to write in your own language. If you want, अगर आप ओरिया में लिखना लिखिए, हिंदी में लिखना लिखिए, but you write it. These are all the questions you get. Okay, I promise you Out of these first 1 month lectures, 10 to 12 questions are guaranteed from that area. Okay, and when I take drilling and blasting, there will be a lot of exams and 2 3 lectures. Please be prepared. Then you have got radiometric service, which are utilized for radiometric emissions they detect. They are known as scintillometers. Earlier, they were using Geiger-Muller counters. Now the scintillometers are there. They are thallium activated. Thallium is an atomic mineral. In this, you will get a couple of questions. Electrical methods are of two types: direct current type and inductive coupled type. The IC types are also known as the electromagnetic methods. Now, in your villages or places, people will come with this dabba. Don't call it dabba, it is a resistivity meter, and they will be putting some, grouting some pegs here and there, connecting the wires, then take the readings. That is the resistivity study. It is mainly useful for your water finding. They know the people give you 5,000, 5,000, 10,000 in some villages, then they get the meter and tell this much is water. Actually, all that studies we were doing in our office also, but now this subject is away from your syllabus. There are two popular methods known as Schlumberger and Wenner method. Here also you have got two questions. In this one slide you have 5 questions. Now, friends, I will show you a few instruments what I have collected from Google. Okay, a PPM instrument, that is proton pressure magnetometer instrument. How it looks. Hope internet is there in my house. Yeah, yes. It's slow, but I think it will come. Yeah, it has come now. Like any other system. No, 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 no. Um, uh, I'm sorry. You can try this from your uh, whatever I am going to give you the notes and other things from these links.